right. Well, Greta, thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm thrilled to be able to talk to you about leadership and your experience helping to develop leaders in the space. Truly, truly. So I have a few questions I'd like to get us started with.
Sure.
So my first question is, when you think about leaders, what trait do you think is most important for leaders to be effective in the moment that we're in these dynamic and changing times?
That is a great question. And, my answer is optimism. Optimism that by working together, we can get through anything, good or bad, and thrive on the other side. And I am sounding like a broken record with my team, with my board, with partners, not to lose faith that we can get through this period and be better on the other side. And sometimes it looks pretty grim, but I will think about last year, at the beginning part of the year, talk about crazy. Every day there was something different unfolding. This year seems a little bit more calm, and yet things are changing. The environment is not conducive to the collaborative way that most of us have worked most of our careers. But this isn't our first rodeo in this country and in this industry. We've been through hard times before. And I think, by being in the nonprofit sector, you have to see the glass half full, right? At least I have my whole entire career. And sometimes my team thinks that I'm like smoking something, but I'm not. I do believe in the goodness of the human spirit, and that eventually the tides will turn and we will be okay. And hopefully more than just okay, we'll be able to do good in the world, which is why I think we're all here.
Yeah. And that hope, I can only imagine, has been tested in time.
It has. And I think it comes down to, so much of our work is around, it's faith work, right?
Yeah.
We're stepping out where we can't prove some things and we can't be 100% confident that it's going to work, but we're embracing that ambiguity. And because we're doing it for the right reason, the reason that we're willing to take those calculated risks, not stupid risks, but calculated risks, is to do something good that can be of service to others. And, certainly we're in a big fundraising campaign, so I am sharing all the good stuff that we've done over the years. But when I look back over my career, I've probably been associated with more failures. We swung big, and when you swing big, there's an inherent risk of potentially striking out for a whole host of reasons. And yet, the strength that comes from your faith and your belief that the work that we're trying to do is worth the effort. You pick yourself up, you dust yourself off and say, come on, guys, we're going to try again. It sounds a little crazy, but, it has worked over time. And if you give up the first time you get knocked down, then, maybe this isn't the work for you. You have to have some tough skin. And we talk about not going outside unless we have our asbestos undies on, because we're in a firefight sometimes. But it's worth it when you see the transformative change in people's lives and in the communities that we're serving. You got to keep trying.
Yeah. I have to imagine that message is so resonant for your team, but most especially for those who've come into our industry recently, right? Our younger
Mm-hmm.
leaders that emerged out of COVID and then chaos,
Mm-hmm.
as Dee Walsh so well stated,
Yeah.
right? I mean, and so hearing that message of hope, and you got to swing for the fences, right?
Yeah.
That, yeah.
Well, and I think as a leader, everyone is looking at you. And I've had some criticism from my team, and we try to create an environment where they can tell me that my
Mhm.
ideas stink, and they do that with some regularity, which
Mhm.
is a-okay. But when something great happens within the organization, I'll say that's fantastic. I don't get overly excited.
Mhm.
When something not good happens, and people are just sort of cowering, waiting to see what is going to be the consequence, I don't get overly upset either. I think I'm more even, but always tilting up and to the right,
Mhm.
saying that's great, or it's let's learn from what just happened here and not repeat that again. And unless someone is trying to harm another individual or steals from us,
Mhm.
everything is a learning opportunity.
Right.
And we work together. We That's one of our values of being a learning organization, and we try to go forward together. And I think that's really important to set the tone for everyone, because the good things that happen, they don't last. So we want to enjoy them while we're there. And the bad things generally don't last. You got to hang in there, baby, the little kitten hanging up on the stick. You have to hang in there long enough. And that's just part of the life cycle process of the ups and downs. It's the journey that we're all
Yeah.
on in life, personally and professionally. And it's what a ride, what a
Mhm.
ride that we're on. And we just try to have the best people on the bus with us while we're going on this adventure.
Yeah, there's a great use of the phrase, this too shall pass, right?
Yes,
The good
yes.
times and the bad,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that
We
roller
will.
coaster of learning and opportunity, right? In the meantime, you're building enduring communities, right? That serve a very real need for families. And that's
Yes.
huge, right? That's a legacy.
It's a legacy of work, and I think we just remind people it's not, we have
Mm.
experts in real estate development and asset management and finance and legal and services, but that's not what the work is about.
Mm.
It's about something much bigger than that. And it's really, I believe, giving people opportunity access, and sometimes whole communities opportunity access
Mm.
to be the best version of themselves. And there's a rich and complex history in this country of not always providing opportunities in an equally yoked manner for all citizens.
Mhm.
But everybody wants the same thing. They want the opportunity to
Right.
try. There's no guarantee that you'll be successful, but you want the opportunity to try to realize your dreams. And I think we are facilitators of helping those dreams to be realized.
Absolutely. Well, and
Yeah.
I think about, there's that old expression of never waste a good disaster, right? And so, you talked about organizational learning through mistakes, right?
Mhm.
And taking
Mhm.
risks in order to achieve a goal and learn, right?
Mhm.
As you think about the opportunity that comes with a good disaster,
Mhm.
what do you believe sort of the moment that we're in is an opportunity? You had mentioned about coming out stronger, right?
Mhm.
That is this moment an opportunity to come out stronger? And what do you see? I'm asking you to read the tea leaves, which is fully
Yeah.
unfair.
Well, I'm so grateful that we have a wonderful board of directors that act as kitchen cabinet for me to, in my younger years, I thought a board was a pain in my, what.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I'm doing. I don't need to just say yes and I'll go do great things. And now I see them as a critical component to solving complex problems that we're trying to address in our mission. And they bring different perspectives. They are definitely not a yes board, but they care about the mission as much as the staff do.
Mm-hmm.
And they have helped us navigate lots of things over the years. And last year, when we were playing whack-a-mole with daily changes coming out of Washington, they told us to stop, just stop. And because we can't control the edicts that were coming out of this administration, and look more myopically at what things can you control to get better at, or to eliminate, or to whatever you need to do, but what are the things within your control? And I'll tell you, Michele, the older I get, the more things I realize are out of my control. So they get smaller, but they're more important maybe.
Yeah.
And so we took that advice to heart, and we started looking internally, what are the things that we can control while there's chaos going on, swirling all around us. And we sort of tore the organization apart and asked some really hard questions in every department. We looked at what we needed to keep doing, what things we needed to let go of, what things we had to commit to doing better. We set new levels of accountability that focused on the sustainability of the corporation, so that we would be in a stronger position to impact the community in a greater manner. I guess it's this, because it's still ongoing. Process has been one of the hardest year and a half processes that we've gone through. And we've lost people, which hurts me to my core, because the expectations and for performance were elevated because they were necessary. And people either said, this is not what I signed up for, and they wouldn't adjust, or they didn't have the skill sets and couldn't adjust. So that part has just hurt me more than anything else. But the caliber of people that we've been able to attract has blown me out of the water, that understand both the mission and the accountability to deliver at a different quality and quantity of performance. And so we've done that. We are seeing terrific outcomes from that. It's still early days. And we're working on resident services now. That's the last element that we're going through. And really trying to commit to having resident voice be the guiding light in how we move forward with things. And I think, again, early days, but the outcomes that we're seeing in real estate development and property management, they are indicating positive change coming down the pike. Yeah. And as an example, our whole senior leadership team was out at the Housing Partnership Network conference spring meeting in Boston last week, and we're bucking the trend. So many colleagues are outsourcing property management, and God knows, I understand why they would think about doing that.
Sure.
We are going in the opposite direction and doubling down on keeping property management in-house along with resident services, because, going back to our why, we think we can offer a better resident experience being on our campuses if we do that in-house. The proof will be in the pudding, but we aren't there yet, but that's our goal. And I think all of that is to say, when, there's a disaster, don't waste it. What can you do? I think we're trying to build a better mousetrap. That's what we're trying to do in how we carry out our mission. And as I talk to colleagues at the national level, at the state level, I'm encouraging people to dream big, to build a better mousetrap for affordable housing development and preservation. I mean, I know the low-income housing tax credit is the most heralded program that we've had to produce affordable housing. It's a nightmare. It's expensive. It's gummy. It takes a long time. It's uber competitive. It's expensive in that you have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to even have a shot at getting an allocation of tax credits. The numbers don't math anymore with the changing economic environment. So why keep trying to pour into a program that maybe has hit its useful life? And let's create something that's more streamlined, that's more efficient, that's more effective, not only for rental, but for home ownership as well, and just simplify things. I don't know what those answers are, but I don't want to keep banging our head against the wall with being a one-trick pony on how we finance this work. I'll give you one quick example. We are under construction, thank you, Lord, finally, after 4 years, on a fantastic development in a suburban jurisdiction that we serve, that's on the site of an old Green Book motel. I mean, so it's such an honor to be able to invest $60 million into this new development on such a historic site. Anyhow, we had a groundbreaking, I don't know, a year ago, and it was monsoon weather. Every time we have a groundbreaking or ribbon cutting, it's always a monsoon. But nonetheless, that's just our lot in life. And so we had all of these great people there, and we talked about the financing. We have 19 sources of financing on this deal. So there's our normal mortgage debt, there's a tax credit equity, and 17 other sources of money to fill the hole. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? And so anyhow, I'd love for our collective industry leaders to work together at all levels of government to come up with something better so that we could serve more people faster.
Yeah. Yeah, when I first came into affordable housing, I came in from commercial. Right. 2 layers of financing at most. Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And someone described it once to me as lasagna financing. And that's, it's messy.
Gotten really sort of out of hand. And I think we need to, this is an opportunity since the federal government is tearing apart things. It's going to be a minute before we create something new. But sometimes the simplest answer is the best answer. And I think this is a great time because everybody is talking about housing affordability at every level of government, in every sector. So we don't have to educate people about why this is important anymore because it's impacting everyone across the socioeconomic spectrum now. And so let's take advantage of that awareness and swing big again. I love swinging big. I drive my team crazy, but I love swinging big.
This is why you have been so successful, though, Greta, is that optimism. And I have to say, the example you've given me of the kind of change you're driving in the organization, that takes deep courage. There's a great story when I first joined Mercy Housing. It was right after Sister Lillian Murphy had done a massive transformation in the organization. And the consultant she was working with, Shekar, said to her, it'll take 6 months for the change. And 3 years later, Sister Lillian said to Shekhar, "Why did you tell me 6 months? This is taking years." He's like, "If I had told you how long it would take, I was afraid you wouldn't have done it." And so I would love to hear from your perspective, how do you hold on to the courage to see a change through like this, especially when it affects people that you've worked with for years? It means change with people, with processes, with everything. And you're the voice of it, right? How do you stay true to that and stay firm in your resolve of the importance of a change?
Well, I think of, I certainly think about those individuals, and we want to be sensitive to those that are impacted by the decisions that we make to improve the organization. But I think about the whole, and so it's not just that individual, it's the other 80 individuals who work at BHC. It's the 50 community volunteers who are on committees and various boards that we have. It's the 3,000 individuals who honor us by living in our communities. It's the stakeholders of elected officials, administrators, corporate and foundation leaders who have been partners with us over the years. It's when you look at that collective whole, you're trying to make decisions that will impact all of that, with the primary focus being the residents that we have dedicated our lives to serve. And even when someone decides to leave, and it was a young man who's been with us for 3 years, and he didn't get a promotion opportunity that he thought he deserved, and he's leaving without another job. And I've tried to talk to him. Everybody's tried to talk to him to say, calm down, and we will help you build your skills. You don't need to do this, but he's going to do it. I gave him a hug this morning, while we were getting our coffee. I wished him well. I thanked him for his service here and told him how important it was. And if there's anything that we can do to help him land gently, we appreciate it. So you don't have to be devastating when there is a staffing change. And in fact, we work really hard not to be that way. But we're doing the right thing for the right reason. And if I look at my job description, which you have seen because of the help that you had us, you helped us with our succession planning. It's 4 pages. And honestly, when I look at it, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I signed up for that. But anyhow, 4 pages, but I can boil it down to 2 things primarily. The first is corporate sustainability. That is my job one. It's my job one. And the last few years have been really dicey in just trying to keep the organization not only afloat, but strong so that we can do number 2, which is impact the community in powerful ways, in positive, powerful ways. And so that's the piece that undergirds the courage to do hard things, because the mission is bigger than any one individual or any one idea. We're trying to do things that the market says are impossible to do. Yeah. And yet, every day, little bit by little bit, we make miracles happen and people's lives get better because of that. And how cool is that, that we work in an industry that can be so transformative for people.
Absolutely.
That
and
keeps
generations.
me juiced up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Thank you, Greta. If you can believe it, we've hit the 30-minute mark.
Well, I'm a talker, and I know you are too. And so when you asked me to do this at first, I said, I thought it was going to be a couple of hours that we were going to be, chit-chatting. But in our current society makeup, nobody would listen that long. I get it.
They just won't. I mean, but Greta, I am so appreciative of your time and your wisdom. Thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. Truly.
Well, thank you so much for asking me. me, and thank you for your courage and your wisdom that you share so generously with all of us who are on the ground trying to do the work. You give us wind under our wings there, Michele.
Oh, it's
You
my
do.
pleasure. It is absolutely my privilege. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.